What do you think of that idea? Would you vote for it?
We haven't had that conversation within the House Democratic Caucus family, and so I'm not going to get out ahead of that discussion. But there are real concerns that any so-called commission being backed by the extreme MAGA Republicans is part of a backdoor way of trying to gut Social Security and Medicare. Because what we've seen year after year, in fact, decade after decade, is that the House Republican agenda is pretty clear. Slash Social Security, end Medicare as we know it, and blow up the Affordable Care Act. And from time to time, including most recently by the former insurrectionist in chief, say the quiet part out loud. And so there'll be some concerns relative to any proposal being backed by the House Republicans, but there are members in good faith on our side of the aisle who do want to have a discussion about making sure that Social Security and Medicare can continue to be an important part of the fabric of the great American dream, and to ensure that we can continue to be fiscally responsible as we provide for the needs of the American people. It's the other side of the aisle that talks about fiscal responsibility, but continues to actually blow up our debt and our deficit, while Democrats, including under President Bill Clinton, President Barack Obama, and now President Joe Biden, are the party that actually has reduced deficits. And in the case of President Clinton, turned a deficit into a surplus. And every single time the Republicans gain control of the House and or the Senate, what they do is they jam big tax cuts for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected down the throats of the American people, as they did with the GOP tax scam, where 83% of the benefits went to the wealthiest 1% here in America, and they saddled our children and grandchildren with $2 trillion worth of unnecessary debt. That's the Republican record on fiscal responsibility. The same thing was done under President Ronald Reagan, and the same thing was done under President George W. Bush. That's their record. So we'll evaluate any legislative proposal on the merits, but there's deep reason to be concerned because my Republican colleagues don't have a record that indicates any seriousness with respect to fiscal responsibility.